Hello, everyone. Hope you're staying healthy and well during this quarantine time. I'm Travis McCurdy of Northwood University. We're checking in with all of our head coaches, see how they're doing during this time at home. And today we're with our volleyball coach, Dave Shumaker. Coach Shoemaker, how are you today?
Good, doing well. How are you, Travis?
Oh, hanging in there, just kind of seeing how everybody's been going. What's been the big thing that's been going on in the Shoemaker house since quarantine started?
Well, some we had some actually kind of shocking news yesterday. No one was hurt, but the tornadoes that hit Chattanooga flattened my two children's high school alma mater.
Wow, jeez.
And my brother-in-law happens to be the headmaster of that school, and so he's gonna have a lot of work ahead of him here. So, so that's been taking up a lot of our conversational time. But like I said, nobody's been hurt. So, but in terms of the Shoemaker household, we've been doing a lot of little house projects. So I took a door and I made it into a wall because we didn't need it. We wanted to have the wall space rather than an extra door into a bathroom. I did some painting. I've picked up a couple of strange hobbies. My son and I are actually making a bow, as in a bow and arrow together from some wood. So we're watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to do that. And then one more thing, we're doing a lot of online video conferencing with their family and our friends. So
Yeah, it's kind of what we have all been at. So you've got where one of your kids is home, but then there's others around the country also, right?
yeah, so my youngest is Danielle, and she just moved with her she's newlywed, moved with her husband to Nebraska, where she'll be starting on a master's degree and PhD program at University of Nebraska. So she's safe and sound, and we keep in touch with her with video conferencing and texting as well.
Well, you've already mentioned some of the projects you've done around the house. Anything you still want to do before we have to go back to regular life?
Uh, yeah, I'd actually like to see about putting in. So the reason we closed off the door to the bathroom, the second door to the bathroom, was so we could take one of those really uncomfortable, skinny corner showers and make it into a full bath and shower. And if it's not too big a project, I'd like to try to hammer that out. But I'd rather things go back to normal too fast and then I have to hire somebody to do it. So that would be
Yeah,
better. But
that sounds
we'll
like
see.
that sounds like a big if. So
That's a yes. That's a tall order for me. We'll see.
so obviously it's been a few weeks here. You've been in contact with your team. How do you feel like the volleyball program's handling all of this so far?
I've been I shouldn't be, but I'm always amazed at the resilience of youth. They're managing well. They're keeping up with their online classes. They seem to be staying close together. We're still meeting with them regularly once a week. We're going over some leadership stuff with them. Um, we're not allowed to do any athletic related stuff with them, but we can do administrative, and so we're doing that on a regular basis. And also just trying to keep in touch with their incoming freshmen as well, or freshmen and transfer as well.
Yeah. It's obviously challenging to someone to work on their volleyball skills when they really can't even get in gym right now. So
Right.
is this more about a time of fitness and maintaining your fitness rather than maybe your volleyball skills to a certain extent?
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out ways once the quarantine's left and we're off, in the summer and we can't work with them anyway. They're going to have to figure out ways to work on some skills. And you can do a few things. Just like soccer, you can juggle a little bit. You can do some stuff like that with volleyball, but you're absolutely right. They're not going to, whole scale get better. So we do expect them to keep up on their fitness. That's something I think they've been doing a good job of. Although technically, I really don't know because we don't have them report it because that's the NCAA rules. But
Right.
the chatter that I hear from them is talking about, yeah, I got up this morning, went and worked out. I hear a lot of that kind of stuff. So
And volleyball is different too because like you and your assistant Lana, like there's a lot of club activity that you both are recruiting from and where you
hmm
coach part of as well.
right.
So with all of that, more so on the recruiting side, how has the quarantine changed that aspect for you?
Yeah, it's just shut it down. And I think we as volleyball coaches have a little bit better because our recruiting cycle is a little bit heavier in the winter. than it is in the spring for some sports like track and baseball and softball. Um, so, those sports, and probably even basketball, they're really wrapping things up after their seasons are over. And for us, we're already done. We got one more slot we're trying to fill, but that was because of kind of a surprise uh, person that had changed their mind at the last second. But so we had already been working on 2021, and so it's not as pressing for us to have to wrap 2021 up because those were early offers that we had made anyway. So they can't commit until this fall and November. So as far as volleyball is concerned, it's been relatively pain-free. I feel really bad for my other colleagues in the spring sports and winter sports who are probably working really hard right now at a disadvantage. But we're trying to get ahead and get some scouting done based on videos of what people have already put up. And we're still communicating with recruits, but it's not as frantic as I think. I think I'd be a lot more nervous if I had to wrap up the season without seeing people live. So.
And looking forward to next year, you guys had a lot of seniors last year, but you also bring back almost your whole team is very experienced. You're going to have a lot of players that played a lot of time on the floor. What should we be looking forward for the 2020 volleyball season?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to improve. We had a really good spring. Thankfully, we had chosen to start early and end our spring early, so we only missed out on about 3 weeks. That's not a technically right number. I could count it up specifically, but we got a lot of spring in, so we did have a good spring season. I've got some friends who only had like a week of spring before everything hit, and so that's a bummer for them. But so we had gotten some improvement in. We'd seen some really good improvement from most of our players, and so we're feeling good about that. We also are feeling really good about our incoming freshmen and transfers. We feel like we're going to get some contribution there. So, for us, I think the biggest thing was getting our ball control a little bit better, and then just being a little bit more efficient on offense, and just a little bit more aggressive on defense. And I think we're going in good ways towards improving that. So, we're pleased. The only thing that gives me consolation about losing out on all this is that everybody else has lost out on it too, and so at least it's an even playing field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Shoemaker, really appreciate it. Glad you and your family are well, and looking forward to seeing everybody back at the office soon.
Thanks, Travis.